How are you doing this Friday? Hope you are well. The news recap was definitely taking you through what has been happening from the world of the news as of yesterday. Hope you're okay. I'm Jerome Paul Sonko here, and clearly taking you through some of the key news updates and business updates as they have been happening throughout the entire day. Of course, now as we welcome the weekend, it is December fruitfully, and we are definitely there to make sure that you understand the scope of everything that is actually coming up from the world of business, not only that, from the socio-economic factors as it does happen. Well, of course, yesterday was the World AIDS Day, and briefly to take you through some of what was happening and an update as President Yoweri Museveni was addressing the Ugandans on a day which was basically to reinforce the strategies of preventing the spread of HIV/AIDS. Now, President Yoweri Museveni did reveal yesterday that prevention is the best way of fighting AIDS. He did say it is very easy to avoid, and it's not like in the past where you could get AIDS through accidents. If I am to ask my producer to give me some of the key footage as it was happening yesterday. Now, currently, according to President Museveni, you can survive all that due to the various interventions that are being put up. President General Museveni made these remarks during the World AIDS Day celebrations that were held in Rukunjiri district on Thursday. That was 1st December. This year's celebrations ran under the theme ending inequalities among adolescent girls, young women, and the boys. He did reveal that when one contracts the virus, her potential is cut off, thus rendering them as persons with disabilities, according to President Museveni. The HIV prevalence peaks at 14% among men aged 45 to 49 and 12.9% among women aged 35 to 39. Then that is basically, and among the young adults, there is a disparity in HIV prevalence by sex, as HIV prevalence is almost 4 times higher among females than the males aged 15 to 19 and 20 to 24. So when you look at people on antiretroviral therapy for HIV, you can clearly see that 23.3 million people on this particular therapy for HIV positive, and these people living with HIV who know their status currently 69% up to 85%. As of 2015, there was 69%. They've raised to 85%, and that clears that by the global target, it may be likely 95% of that now, as well as the HIV Investment Global Fund between 2002 to 2022 has been 0.94 billion US dollars. So when you clearly see side of those particular way, the prevention is the best way to cut HIV/AIDS, not only treatment. This is not a disease or a virus that you would wish to have and think that you will definitely fight it after acquiring it. So you would wish to at least have it. You would definitely wish to prevent it before it takes yourself away. In 2017, the government of Uganda set out an initiative to ensure that by 2030, HIV/AIDS or the spread of HIV/AIDS will be kicked out of Uganda entirely. But when you look at the statistics that keep on coming, it is something that is definitely worrying, because thousands of young men and women are getting HIV/AIDS. And when you look at the age bracket between 17, 20, 24, 25, between 20 to 25, most of the key cases being reported or being recorded of females between that age bracket, and then men between 35 to 40 years of age. So you can see where is the challenge. And then, of course, on social media, everyone did have their different views on reasons as to why that is the same age bracket that is bringing out that situation of the HIV/AIDS spread. But of course, due to situations to do with poverty and income inequalities, whereby young girls are so desperate to at least sleep around to get money, because they do have a lot of demand and their levels of patience are quite limited, and of course they end up making mistakes that will definitely cost them their lives. But of course, on a Friday like this one, as we're heading into the weekend, there are lots of decisions you can choose to take, and most of them should definitely be about making sure that you do not ruin your life by just a minute or two. Well, of course, we do have people who are happily living with the HIV/AIDS as we continue to spread the message of no stigmatization for those living with HIV/AIDS, but also looking forward to remembering that it is very vital of us to prevent the spread of HIV/AIDS by keeping ourselves safe and also keeping around the safety measures to all the rest. We all know the preventive measures: one, not recklessly sleeping around with anybody, and of course doing timely checkups to check on our status before we can engage into any sexual activity. Not only that, but also making sure that we have the ABC, and that is more of one, using the abstaining method, which is 100% going to be preventive for you. Then we have the being careful, being faithful to your partners, and also being faithful to yourself, because you really need to be faithful to yourself and the decisions you take. Then you can also look at the use of condoms. Well, the government has been able to come out to invest heavily in the preventive measures of HIV/AIDS, and also in the procurement of the HIV drugs, especially the ARVs. You've got lots of other drugs that are attached there. If you're to move out to the AIDS support centers, as the AIDS support organizations, TASO in Tebe, for example, in Barara, and other branches also in Kampala, you can see that it's a lot of investment that has been input in there. So clearly, as we've celebrated the International Day of AIDS, those are some of the things that you should at least be thoughtful about. Okay, away from that particular update this morning, now let's get into the press review. Right now, with the press review, with the new vision, there is a rift of deepening. There is a crisis coming in from the opposition. New vision says about that. You can get it this morning. Then also, South Africa's Cyril Ramaphosa faces possible impeachment. Yesterday, from the international news, we got to realize that South Africa's ruling African Party, that is the African National Congress Party, convened emergency talks as pressure mounts for President Cyril Ramaphosa to quit or face impeachment. There is a scandal where President Cyril Ramaphosa is apparently facing, and he has to give more answers regards to that. President Museveni has warned the young people on HIV/AIDS. That is also in here. It's the update that we started with this morning. And also, there is room for farmers that are going to be awarded in here. How about that one? You can clearly see that from the angle of business. Now, the 2022 best farmers are set to be awarded. This is according to the new vision, and you'll definitely see more about that. Now, there is also another report from the new vision which has highlighted that Uganda needs 1 trillion shillings for ARVs per year. These ARVs are actually are more constant to the HIV/AIDS patients, so you can see what it means for those who are actually living with HIV, and what the government is making sure that they do the procurement process of that. Now, there is also another report here. Government has renewed the contract of the Deputy Managing Director of National Social Security Fund, that is Patrick Ayota, and appointed him as acting managing director. This is according to the new vision this morning, so you can get more and read about it. Now, there is also another report regarding lending institutions that have asked to offer affordable loans, and that is according to a report that is coming in also this morning from the new vision. So this is something that you would definitely want to watch after grabbing yourself a copy of that. Crossing over to the Daily Monitor, still from the side of business, government has released final agencies merger list. How about that one? A merger from the government, and there is a list that has been released by government as well, so you will be able to see it. Now, also the new acting managing director, Ayota, speaks on plan to move NSSF forward This is a report coming in from here as there is a change of guard. The former chief finance officer says his priority is to continue growing the National Social Security Fund and to ensure that there is a lot of relevance coming in from there. Now, also, there is something regarding Mumende leaders asking government to ease Ebola restrictions. Why is this so? Lots of businesses have been affected. Daily Monitor is highlighting that report for you. And then, with the Daily Monitors, members of Parliament want Minister Passes Namuganza censored. This is also with the Daily Monitor, so it is something that you can easily want to see and understand. Why do they want Minister Passes Namuganza censored before committees in Parliament? Now, when you look at some of the final cabinet list on approved mergers, there is the Ministry of Tourism, Wildlife and Antiquities. When you look at the merged agencies under this tourism, under this sector, under this ministry, is the Uganda Wildlife Education Center and the Uganda Wildlife Authority. So they are all now under the Ministry of Tourism, Wildlife and Antiquities. Now, under the Ministry of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, Uganda Human Rights Commission, Equal Opportunities Commission, all under here. Now, the Ministry of Justice and Constitutional Affairs has seen the Center for Alternative Dispute Resolution and Electricity Dispute Tribunal also added onto it. So this is something that you should be able to see here from the Daily Monitor about the mergers in there. Quite a number of those have been merged, and government has released its final merger list this particular month of December 2022. Well, the month of December just quickly started yesterday, and lots of business information are coming up. Later on, we shall be going on ground with details to do with traffic updates at this particular moment, just to give you a proper roadmap of what is happening in the CBD before you definitely head out to go and work, so that at least in the long run you are not affected by traffic. And Barija Andrew is already on ground to give us more of the updates in regards to what is happening in there from the world of traffic. And let's close over to Barija. Let's cross over to Andrew Barija this morning. And of course, Andrew Barija is going to be giving us more of what is happening on the traffic flow within different routes that lead to the city. And those are some of the things that Barija Andrew should be able to at least highlight for you before you leave your home this morning, to ensure that definitely this slight movement of quite a number of things, that before you head out of your home, before you at least switch options and say you would rather take the other route to the other route, that is something that you should be having at the back of your mind. Now let's get over to Barija Andrew to give us more of the traffic updates this morning.
Today we are right here at Entebbe Road Junction, and of course trying to observe the traffic atmosphere right here. But of course, as you can see, it's not really as much tight. The congestion is not really as expected as on other days, simply because probably we are heading into the festive season, first of all, and such a time between December 1st and 14th, it's always a little bit come into the city. Reason being is that, for example, like the schools have closed during that time, and also some companies actually lay off the workers to go and do some other related Christmas activities. So that explains why there is a reduced congestion. But definitely towards the festive season, I believe it will be much more than this. Before I arrived here, I passed by the Ginger Road, and still the situation was moderate. The Ginger Road traffic lights, I think that's what explains what is also going on quite around here. So the vehicles held at very small intervals, and there are no traffic officers right here. They are just being controlled by the traffic lights. So you can see the situation of course, happening right here. As you can see, just behind me, the vehicles that are coming from the Kampala Road and they are heading towards the Jinja Road. It's very calm and quite free. And as you can observe, the vehicles that are coming from, of course, the Jinja Road heading to Kampala Road, it's also quite a free lane. And when we are to count the interval, it's really right into a 5-minute interval as always. Of course, the maximum being 7 minutes, letting that. But as you can see, sloping down to Entebbe Road, Babu can show you right there, and you get to observe it's really a free lane too. So it's a free lane. So probably if you're heading to Bunga and probably you're coming from Nakawa, and of course you're going to use the Jinja Road, you can actually branch through here, and you will be in position to connect there, and you continue to Entebbe at the same time. So it's quite a free lane, free landscape. Vehicles are not held for too long. The congestion is not really that much, as you can observe the situation, the economic atmosphere. You just saw those vehicles had just been held, and not even more than 5 minutes. Actually, the 5-minute interval had just much exaggerated. The movement is very smooth and normal congestion. So definitely, if you're coming to town with that expectation to reach in time to execute that business deal, chances are high that you will be in position to actually reach in time, get to that job, pursue that career. At the same time, you will be in position to execute that business deal. So that's the situation right here at at Entebbe Road Junction. The traffic lights at Entebbe Road Junction. Very calm traffic, very calm. You can observe, you can feel the ambience of the place. A very calm situation right here. Smooth flow of the vehicles, respect of course, the road signs. This time around here, I see the borders trying to be a little bit gentle and patient regarding the traffic-related rules. Not like in other places or on certain occasions when they seem to be too impatient. So those are vehicles are coming from Kampala Road and they're sloping down to Entebbe Road. Smooth flow. Smooth flow. So I would really advise you to use these routes. If you are coming to town and probably your destiny will be connecting with these particular routes, I give you a go ahead to come, and you will be in position to reach in time. The traffic congestion is not really as tight, so it shouldn't really worry you that much that you will be reaching late to your destination. It's going to be really it's easy. It's going to be easy for you. So that's how the situation is calm. It's so interesting, like how the vehicles can be released and all over the situation gets calm. And despite the calmness, the lines are not so loaded with quite lots of vehicles, those that are waiting. Now, for example, if you had to look down at the vehicles that are coming from Jinja Road, of course heading to Kampala Road, it's not really too tight. They're lining up very efficiently, but the line is not as long as expected, even when they are released after that wait. So it explains the situation which is happening right down here in the city center regarding the traffic congestion, and it's going to make it shouldn't worry you that you may not be in position to reach in time to execute that business deal that you want to execute. The situation is quite normal. Probably it might change a little bit in an hour's time from now. That can be expected, but as of now, if you're traveling of course to town and you're planning to travel probably in the next 30 minutes, the situation, chances are high that it will become like the way it is. Now you can see the vehicles from Kampala Road heading to Jinja Road released. Only those that are of course heading to Entebbe Road still held a little bit. But you can see after even the vehicles leaving, if you have to look at the lane, it's calm. It takes no seconds, and the road and the junction is already calm. So that explains the entire condition of what is transpiring right here at the Entebbe Road Junction traffic lights. A calm situation. Patience amongst the motorcyclists. It's quite a rare thing to find. Very calm situation right here. So chances are high you can't just be worried that you're going to reach in time. And that's what we had for you on the traffic updates this morning. Back to you, Joram.
Giving you more of what is happening is you're passing by Kampala Road and basically stretching over Boulevard, Post Office, and Tebe Road. And those are some of the routes that you can clearly use as you crossing over to Parliamentary Avenue as well. So all of those particular routes, Parliamentary Avenue, as you're crossing to Parliamentary Avenue, and then you move to Nile Avenue as well. And clearly the traffic now is as you're heading to town at around the Tebe Road, traffic lights in there. As you're heading now to town, there's traffic congestion that has just kicked off, but that is due to the good management that is actually running through the traffic lights in there. So that's all from the traffic updates this morning. After the break, we return with Caribou East Africa and more from the international news. SMART24, driving business.